Okay, go ahead.
After discussing American heroes within the class, now we are going to discuss a specific American hero, Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born January 15th, 1929, and he died April 4th, 1968. He was born in Atlanta, Georgia. He attended Morehouse College to earn his bachelor's. Later on, he also attended Boston University and earned his PhD. Dr. King participated in and led marches for the right to vote, desegregation, labor rights, and other civil rights. For many people, he became the face of the civil rights movement. Dr. King would go on to lead several civil rights movements as well.
The civil rights movement was a struggle for social justice that took place mainly during the 1950s and 1960s for Black Americans to gain equal rights under the law in the United States. Dr. King oversaw the 1955 Montgomery bus boycotts when people were forced to sit in the back of the bus based on their color. King was also one of the leaders of the 1963 March on Washington, where he delivered the famous "I Have a Dream" speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. I think we have all heard of the "I Have a Dream" speech. Dr. King was also essential in making legislative gains in the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Voting Rights Act of 1965, and the Fair Housing Act of 1968. These acts enabled that, or ensured that people could vote, have housing, things like that. Dr. King was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi, so he believed in nonviolent forms of protest. So when they would go and do their protests, they ensured that there was no violence. So many of these protests did end up turning violent, and oftentimes Dr. King was jailed.
So as we're learning more about Dr. King, we learn that on October 14, 1964, King won the Nobel Peace Prize for combating racial inequality through nonviolent resistance. In 1965, he helped organize 2 of the 3 Selma to Montgomery marches. In his final years, he expanded his focus to include oppositions towards poverty, capitalism, and the Vietnam War. He was assassinated on April 4th in Memphis, Tennessee. His death was followed by national mourning as well as anger leading to riots in many US cities. Overall, we think about civil rights and American heroes. MLK is one of the first people we think of. And we really highly recommend you all take the time to listen to "I Have a Dream" speech. His speech is very powerful. It's such a movement speech, and he did an awesome job. And we provided the link for every single one of you to have access to. And so thank you.